What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, Talking with Beauties, episode 121, the Wednesday news. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about USA basketball because they are golden once again. Plus, Brandon Ayuk might find a new home before the season starts, and a couple of legends of the sports world will be hanging them up, calling it quits. But first, let's head into the MLB. So let's start off in the MLB today. We got a lot of news coming out of the Dodger locker room. Start off with the injuries. Brusdar Graterol started his first game. Came in relief in his first game of the year. Ended up exiting that game early due to a right hamstring injury. Timeline unknown right now. Does not seem good though. His first start of the year, trying to boost that bullpen for the Dodgers, ends up not being a very long one. Plus, the young gun, River Ryan, who we talked about, I think, last week, started his first couple games for the Dodgers, ended up injuring his shoulder this past weekend, elbow, and will have to undergo Tommy John surgery because of it. This is tough news for the Dodgers, especially because they just got rid of James Paxton, who happened to also be injured in his most recent start. That was also this past weekend with the Red Sox. So tough injuries for both sides of those pitchers there. And then because of all of this, we're hearing news that Mookie Betts might be coming off of the IL. So that is good injury news there. But because of that, they have DFA'd Ahmed Rosario, who was just recently acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays. So Mookie supposedly will be going straight to the right field position, will not be playing infield when he comes back. Now, will this mean that he won't be coming back in the infield at all this season? I don't know, but he's been taking a lot of reps in the outfield and things like that. So I would expect him to be in the outfield to start off the year, potentially the rest of the regular season as well. As long as they don't hit more injuries, I could see Mookie being in right field where he's more comfortable the most recent years. Now let's head back to Boston, where we hear Jarren Duran will be suspended 2 games for uttering an anti-gay slur towards a fan on Sunday versus Houston. Not good news there. At least it's only 2 games, but Jarren Duran, one of the up-and-coming players in the league, needs to stay out of that kind of spotlight, needs to get back into just playing baseball. Seattle has announced that they extended Victor Robles to 2 years, $9.75 million, with another option in 2027, I guess, with a $9 million deal there potentially. The Rays also announced today that they are calling up number 2 prospect in MLB, Junior Caminero. This is big news. A lot of young guns have been coming up recently. River Ryan, unfortunately, did leave with injury with the Dodgers, but Jackson Holliday's been up and down so far this season. He's up right now. They also got Mayo up for the Orioles. So seeing Caminero come up, who knows? Maybe he's going to stick around the rest of the season with the Rays. So curious to see how well he does with that lineup. The White Sox have announced that they fired manager Pedro Grifo. Not good situation with the White Sox there. 27-86, I think, is their record. I'll pop up the record right here or something like that. Not a good record at all. On that historic losing streak, finally got off of it, but they announced that they fired their manager. And Grady Sizemore will stand in as the interim manager for the rest of the year. So who knows, maybe Sizemore takes over that job after this season. And last news for MLB, we got Players Weekend coming up this upcoming weekend, and we're going to see not new uniforms or anything like that, but personalized hats. This is the first time we've seen this. We're seeing numbers on the sides of the hats with custom kind of like texturized numbers and things like that. I'll pop up a couple pictures here of what we could see this upcoming weekend. So it's going to be the normal hats that we see on every uniform, but we're going to see those numbers for the players on the sides. So really cool, something different. It's the first time we've seen Players Weekend in 5 years, so that's going to be cool to see, but I wish it was a little bit different. We see uniform changes. You see nicknames on the back of uniforms. We can see none of that. So that's a little unfortunate there, but should be interesting to see what those hats look like with certain players. All right, let's head to the NFL now, where we have Nick Foles announcing that he is retiring from the game of football. Personally, not a big Nick Foles fan, but congrats on a crazy career. Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP, got a lot of money, didn't play very much, but had a very awesome career as an underdog, pretty much. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Rondale Moore suffered a season-ending injury in camp with his knee, so he'll be gone for the rest of the year. Minnesota rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy is expected to undergo knee surgery. The timeline is unclear as of right now, but that news did come out on Tuesday, so obviously a lot just dropped. So not too much information besides Sam Darnold most likely will be the starter for the Vikings leading into week 1. New England announced that they are releasing wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. Wow, holy cow. Hasn't really worked out with them in New England. Who knows? Maybe Juju could be a third guy somewhere else. Potentially with San Francisco, because we're hearing news that Brandon Ayuk trade could potentially be going down with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have expressed interest in him since the news has come out publicly, and both teams have a deal on the works right now. Supposedly, it's all coming down to San Francisco's end on them signing off on it. So what that looks like, we do not know, but Adam Schefter did release that information earlier this week, and unfortunately, the only thing that's really holding this thing back is San Francisco says that they have a contract extension out there on offer to Ayuk. Ayuk has said nothing about it, doesn't know if that's a contract he wants to sign, so we don't know the terms of those either, but as of right now, Pittsburgh has a deal. San Francisco pretty much has said yes to it. They're just waiting to hear back from Ayuk if he wants to stay for the terms and money situation that is going down. But as of right now, I don't think Ayuk is going to stay in San Francisco, which I think is okay with the Niners. Personally, I like Ayuk a lot, obviously, because I'm an Arizona State fan, if you guys don't notice. So I love Ayuk. I love anyone that has to go with Arizona State, follow them closely. But with this whole situation, it's kind of odd. It's not very good situation. And personally, they have a couple guys in the pipeline right now for San Francisco with the wide receivers that I think is a little bit more exciting and could fill in that role of Brandon Ayuk does right now for a lot less price tag. So if it comes down to, hey, get rid of him because we don't want to pay that much, spending X amount of dollars on everybody else and having to re-sign guys whose contracts are coming up, and Ayuk just is one of those guys that's not going to be able to fit, then I'm okay with that. It's going to suck, yes, but I wish him all the best. But him being a number 1 in Pittsburgh is going to be a lot different than him being a number 2 or 3 in San Francisco. So he's just got to be aware of that, though. And lastly, more trade talk, but we're going to New York. The Jets' Hassan Reddick announced that he requested a trade, and we got a direct quote from Jets GM Joe Douglas. He said, "We have informed Hassan that we will not trade him, and he is expected to be here with his teammates, and that he will continue to be fined per the CBA if he does not report. Since the trade discussion back in March, we have been clear, direct, and consistent with our position. Our focus will remain on the guys we have here as we prepare for the regular season." A lot to take in. We've heard a lot of stuff the last couple of weeks with Reddick not being able to get a contract with the Jets, and the Jets pretty much saying, hey, we are not going to give you more money than we've already offered. And Reddick does not like that. Reddick, I don't think he has even played a game for the Jets. And if that is the case, I don't think Reddick has a lot of leverage over the Jets here. I think the Jets have a lot of leverage here. They're going to keep finding him. By the sounds of it, Hassan's not going to show up. I doubt he'll show up at all. So it's going to come down to they're going to get nothing for him in trade value, or they're just going to have to release him because it's going to be a waste of money and roster spot if they keep Reddick on this in the organization. But hopefully they can figure it out between the two of them. But right now it does not look good for the Jets and Hassan Reddick. All right, let's head to the Olympics, where we have men's soccer to talk about. Spain won gold over France 5-3 in additional time to win that gold. 2 goals in additional time for them. France, on the other end, gets silver. Had a great performance overall in all the games. Thierry Henry, manager of that team, I think he managed it really well. Unfortunately, just France fell a little short. But Spain, winning the Euros and winning the Olympic gold, really good summer for the Spanish Soccer Federation there. And we head to the bronze game where Morocco smoked Egypt 6-0 in that game in an all-African bronze medal game. So the first time ever in Olympic soccer history there. And Morocco goes out on top. Morocco soccer has actually been pretty impressive the last couple of years, dating back to Qatar, the way they had that great run in that World Cup. Morocco has done really well at the Olympics. Hakimi, one of their top players, has done great at his club and did great in this Olympics. So Morocco could actually be a threat to be reckoned with, but who knows? I mean, we got a lot of time till the next World Cup, but maybe it's just something to keep an eye out when it comes to the 2026 World Cup. All right, let's head to basketball now. We'll start with the women's side. We'll head to the gold medal game where the U.S. played France. This one came down to the wire. U.S. got a couple free throws at the end of the game, ended up making it a 3-point lead. Not a lot of time left, no timeouts for France. They inbound the ball. France ends up taking a shot. They score it, but because of the placement of her feet, it was just on that line, just in front of it. And unfortunately, it was only a 2-pointer, meaning that the U.S. won that one by 1.67-66 over France, winning gold. Big win there, but a very nerve-wracking win for the United States women's team. We head to the men's now, where we'll head back to the semifinals where the U.S. played Serbia. This one was a nerve-wracking game. Serbia ended up playing a great game all the way up to pretty much the fourth quarter. They led 54-43 at halftime and 76-66 going in to the fourth quarter. So they were dominating this whole game. Jokic and Bogdanovic both pretty much leading the way. Bogdanovic with 20 points. Jokic with 17 points after it all. But the U.S. did get out on top. 95-91 win in this one. James with a triple-double. Curry with 36 points. 9 of 14 beyond the arc. Curry looked outstanding in this game. James looked great in this one as well. U.S. trailed for most of this game, but they were able to get 32 points in the fourth quarter and limit Serbia to no three-pointers in the final frame. Leading up to that fourth quarter, Serbia had 15 three-pointers. That was the reason why they were leading that game. Somehow, the wheels fell off the track. Serbia was not able to drop anything in the fourth quarter, pretty much. I think only scoring 15 points total. And just, you're not going to win a game scoring 15 points in a quarter. So the U.S. squeaked by that one, getting their chance to face France in the gold medal game. And France have Wembayama, who ended up tallying 26 points in that game. Curry went off again, got 24 points, 8 from 13 from three-point land. He hit 4 straight threes on the last couple of possessions to secure the win for the United States, which was an outstanding performance. Great game, back and forth. France was not leading very often, but they were never out of this game. Steph Curry at the very end, scoring those 12 points, was pretty much the nail in the coffin for the French team. Also, they were only 10 for 17 from free throw line. That, to me, is the reason why they did not win this game. There was a lot of opportunities there with getting 2 points, making a three-pointer potentially, and France was not able to capitalize on those. They lose potentially 7 points there. Who knows? Maybe this is a whole different game. Ends up being a win for the United States, 98-87 for this one. On that team, Kevin Durant got his 4th gold medal, becoming the first person in U.S. men's history to do that with the basketball team. Him and Steph Curry, once again, teammates. They were teammates at the Golden State Warriors. Since they've been playing together, they have been undefeated in elimination games. They were 3-0 with the Warriors. They were 4-0 in the 2010 FIBA World Cup, and they were 3-0 in this year's Olympics, meaning 10-0 in elimination games with KD and Steph on the same team. That is outstanding numbers, especially with the type of games that they're playing, the caliber of games. Really awesome, really cool record to have together. LeBron James became the first player in in men's basketball history to win 3 golds in 3 different decades. Congrats to you, LeBron. And Curry, as we mentioned at the top of the show, this guy went off when he hit those couple threes at the end to secure that goal. I'll pop up a video right now. This was my reaction. I mean, this was awesome. I think everyone's reaction was the same thing. He lit it up. I mean, there's nothing else to say, but he lit it up. Curry looked outstanding in that game. Scored 60 points in the last 2 games of the tournament. Leading up to those 2 games, though, he only had 29 points total, so he wasn't doing too much to get into those last semifinal and final games, but he popped off on those last 2 games big time for the United States, especially because this is his only Olympic Games he says he'll be playing, so he definitely wanted to go out on top, and he did it. Amazing job doing it. Definitely put his stamp on this Olympic Games for the basketball team there. Curry also became the 9th player in history to win an NBA title, NBA MVP, NBA Finals MVP, and an Olympic gold. He joins Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kobe Bryant, and Shaquille O'Neal in that category. So also forgot Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Got cut off right there, but I also forgot those 2. But that's a great company right there. So congrats to you, to everybody on the men's basketball team, women's basketball team, and the men's soccer side. Everybody who got gold. But let's get into the medal counts now. So we'll rank these ones by total medals, and the U.S. dominated this one, 126 total medals, but did tie China with the most golds with 40 golds, 44 silvers, and 42 bronze. China, 91 total for 40 golds, 27 silvers, and 24 bronze. Great Britain was third on the list, 14 golds, 22 silvers, 29 bronze for 65 total. France had 16 golds, 26 silver, 22 bronze, and 64 total, just 1 short of Great Britain. And Australia came in 5th, 18 golds, 19 silver, 16 bronze for 53 total. So congrats to all the nations, everybody who won a medal. Very weird to see no Olympics on this week, especially because it was just something just to throw it on, do some other things, maybe sit down and watch a couple games. But not having any Olympics was definitely weird for me, but we miss you, but we can't wait for LA 2028. All right, let's head to the NHL now, where we have an announcement of a retiring Oscar Klefbom announced that he'll be retiring from the game. He played 378 games, recorded 156 points, all with Edmonton. He's last played in the bubble in 2020. Hasn't been on the ice since due to a major shoulder injury, which is the reason why he is retiring. So that's tough news, but congrats on a great career. Utah announced their new logo for their inaugural season. Looks pretty good. Can't do too much without a lot of branding, but it looks good. Colors look good. Got the mountain range on the top. So that will be placed on their uniform for the first year of their existence. St. Louis Blues have put out a couple offers to players. Philip Broberg for 2 years, $4.58 million AAV, and Dylan Holloway for 2 years, $2.29 million AAV. So it's 2 good players, I think, that could help out that Blues roster there. But Edmonton now has 7 days to match those offers. If they don't, they go over to St. Louis. So we'll see what happens with those 2 players, but we got 1 week to figure out if Edmonton will bring those guys back. We have a small trade that went down. Nashville and Pittsburgh swapped a couple of things. Nashville got Jordan Frasca, and Pittsburgh sent over got Cody Glass, a 2025 third-round pick, and a 2026 sixth-round pick. I don't have too much to talk about besides I think Pittsburgh did win this trade, but we'll see. There's a lot of stuff going down the line. We'll see how they fit in their rosters. The Maple Leafs have announced, or unofficially announced, you guys are probably watching this. We probably already had the news that they're going to be getting a new captain for this upcoming season. That will be Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews will be named the new captain. They said most likely on Wednesday they will announce this news. Supposedly John Tavares is okay with the decision as well. So I think it's a long time coming. Matthews was probably going to be the captain a long time ago, but got into a little bit of trouble when it came to, I can't remember exactly. I think it was either off ice things or stuff with the GM that ended up haltering that. He became assistant captain. Johnny T got that captain spot, but I think this is a long time coming. Matthews should be the captain of the Maple Leafs, but this kind of sucks because I would love to see him back in a American team, preferably Arizona, but obviously that's not going to be the case. So we'll see what happens with Austin Matthews going down the line, but he's going to be getting that C on his jersey next season. And last news, we got Tampa Bay Lightning ownership potentially making a move when it comes to the sales, searching for a $2 billion offer right now. Sounds like this is going to be the largest sale in NHL history, surpassing the $950 million purchase of the Ottawa Senators by Michael Andelauer. It sounds like everything's pretty close to done and finalized. And they're also saying once this is done, there won't be any changes to the day-to-day operations of the team. It will just be a change of ownership. So it's going to be a very easy transition for the new ownership. I'm also hearing word that the person who has majority stake in the team will still have a good chunk, just not majority when it comes to owning the team. So $2 billion, a lot, but Tampa Bay has been good in the most recent years. 2 Stanley Cups, 3 appearances, have a lot of good a lot of good talent on that roster that's still potential to make playoffs every single year. So Tampa Bay is in the right spot right now. So $2 billion is a crazy number to throw out there, but I think it's well justified. So we'll move on to the cleanup. We'll start off with college football. Texas running back CJ Baxter injured his LCL and PCL in practice, will need surgery, and will be missing the entire 2024 season. So that's tough news for Texas Longhorn football there. NCAA announced a 4-year show cause order for former Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh for impermissible contact with recruits and players while access was restricted during the COVID-19 pandemic. ASU was unfortunately a victim of this as well. They got punished for it. Michigan is also a victim of this, it sounds like, and who knows what the punishment's going to be. Most likely it won't be anything until probably another 4 years, because that's what Arizona State was handed. So if that is the case, who cares? But it's just something to throw out there. Illinois will be celebrating the 100-year anniversary this year. They also released new uniforms to commemorate this. Their new helmets will be mimicking a leather-style helmet. Their jersey is very ugly, but it is a classic-looking jersey. Navy blue top with thick orange stripes, or even like maybe light brown stripes down the middle of the jersey. Starts in the middle of the jersey where the middle of the numbers are. The numbers are white on this uniform, so they do pop on there. Uniform looks very bad. I think the helmets carry this. I give it a 3 out of 10. Whole score. Sorry, my bad. But Illinois helmets look great. But the jersey is horrendous. But they're set to wear these ones on October 19th versus Michigan this upcoming season. Let's head to soccer. Portugal's defender Pepe announces he's retiring from soccer. 41 years old, appeared in 141 games for Portugal over 23 years, 737 appearances across 4 clubs. Great career for Pepe. He also was on that team that won the Euros, I believe. So congrats to you. A lot of good accolades under his name. And Barcelona's Sergio Roberto will be leaving as a free agent after 18 years with the club. A lot of awesome accolades for Roberto as well. 2 Champions League titles, 7 La Ligas, 6 Copa del Reys, 5 Spanish Super Cups, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 1 Club World Cup, and an iconic goal. The reason why I know his name against PSG in the Champions League game with an impossible comeback in 2017. I'll show a goal right here. Barcelona was down by, I think, 6-1 on aggregate going into the second game. Needed to win big and ended up getting that result to move on in that title game, or move on in the Champions League. So that's the reason why I know Roberto's name. But that's tough news to hear that he's be leaving after 18 years with the club. So congrats to you, though. Hopefully find a great home to continue on your career. Last news out of soccer, Tim Ream, U.S. defenseman, will announce that he's going to be leaving Fulham in Europe and will be going to Charlotte FC to the MLS. Fulham has had Tim Ream forever, and very sad news to hear that. But with his age, I'm not surprised that he's moving back to MLS. A little bit softer, I guess, if you want to say that. It will be easier on the body. He plays with the U.S. men's national team now, so it's definitely going to be less travel, so that's going to be easier for him as well. But congrats to Charlotte FC, and congrats to a great career at Fulham. You're definitely going to be remembered as one of the legends at Fulham FC. And last news for the cleanup, we got NASCAR. 2311 Racing announced that Daniel Suarez will be back in the number 99 car for the upcoming 2025 season. So that's good news for Suarez and 2311 Racing. All right, let's head to games of the week. Now we'll start off in the MLB, where I got Cleveland versus Milwaukee, 3-game set in Milwaukee. Then we got La Liga. We got Barcelona versus Valencia. That's on Saturday, 12:30 p.m. ABC. Premier League, I got Chelsea versus Man City, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. on Telemundo. Also, I think on NBC station, so just check your local listings, I guess. Lastly, NASCAR, we got Michigan International Speedway, Sunday, 11:30 a.m. on the USA Network. All right, guys, that will do it for this episode. 121 episodes in the books. Appreciate you guys listening to this one. If you guys haven't already, go check out the YouTube channel, because we released a awesome Sports Jeopardy episode last weekend, which was very fun to watch, very fun to record with everybody. And we got another one slated for this upcoming week, semifinals number 2. So if you guys watched the first one, you guys are going to love the second one. If you guys haven't watched the first one, please go give it a watch, because it's great. 15 minutes, very short and sweet. Test your knowledge on sports, plus also have a couple laughs with us, because it's a really fun episode to do. That next episode is finalized and edited. It will most likely release on Thursday or Friday, depending on what I'm feeling. So check out that. Check out the Instagram, because we update, or we send updates on what's going on in the world of the podcast and the channel. You guys can stay up to date with that. Hit like and subscribe, hit the bell icon so you guys are always notified when new episodes drop. If you guys are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, give it a good rating, give it a follow. Go check out the YouTube channel for the YouTube exclusives, because that Sports Jeopardy was not on audio only. So go check out that. So I appreciate you guys listening to this one. Have an awesome weekend, and we'll see you guys later.